Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. And today's topic will be dealt with non-invasive method of measuring your or non-invasive method of biomedical parameters. Or biomedical instrument, non-invasive biomedical instrument. Actually, our topic is going to be held up with your non-invasive methods for medical healthcare. And that will be the topic. And of course, when you want to discuss about this topic, I don't think so. Second, I'll just share my this thing. See, there are a lot of instruments now. We are going to see new instruments. So far, we would have been seen biomedical imaging technique. Now, today we are going to see something about biomedical instruments. Okay. See, recently I can share my own experience. Then it will be a very good startup. See, non-enhancing technique is that you can do with anywhere, everywhere. Okay, and there are a lot of problems in the instruments which we don't care and which we don't think that it is a very big thing, a negligible amount. Sometimes that measurement is being made as a negligible amount of error, something like that. And of course, there are a lot of things to be discussed. And in that part, now I am going to show you something about the work which you have done recently, so that you will be able to understand. Because it will be like a case study, not like a presentation. Case study makes you to understand, the situation. The case study will be able to make you to understand that how the things has been solved, how the things has been understood, and all those things you can able to get it very clearly when you go ahead with the case studies. In that part, we are going to see first case study, that the recent case study which we did it. And of course, when you see this case study, I'll just show you. We have gone to some labs. We are not going for uh, very big instruments. The instruments which are readily available, which means that already something is in practice, and which are readily available. And then what is their problem, and all that particular instrument, and then what is their problem, and all those things. If you understand, you can take a lot of problems out of this. Now, as I said, I'll just show you one real-time work which you have done recently, and I'll just show you again, because I thought to start with some other paper, but now we are going to start with the other paper. And now this is the paper. Okay, this is the paper which is a non-enhancing measurement of your prothormone. Okay, prothormone test. When we are able to get into biomedical, and this is a recent research. I think you can able to see this. It's a multi-layer flexible substrate antenna as a sensor for PT measurements from blood plasma to avoid turbidity and reagent sensitive variations through regression modeling. Now, this is the recent paper. Of course, it is a proof. Of course, I think so. It has been published, I supposed to believe, but I'm just sharing the proof of the copy, and I'll just check it out, and you will get it because there I am. This is a recent paper which I've done. It's fine. It has been published. No problem. And because it's a proof copy, and of course we have a lot of research like this, and we have done many things like this. And now this is the paper I want to deal, because I never want to take some other work and do as a PPT, and somebody is trying to do. It's not like that. See, now this is the paper. What is that problem of this? See, prothormone. What do you mean by prothormone? Prothormone is that clotting time. See, clotting time is a very big tool to identify the heart disease at the early stage. because when you have more clotting, automatically the blood clot appears. If your clotting percentage is more, it shows that you have a lot of blocks. See, the blocks can be identified through the blood test. This is a very basic thing to understand. See, what happens in the blood clot? Why it is not been able to identify? Why I want to go for ECG? Why not my blood property? Because blood clots. If my blood is having a more property of clotting time, then it is probably helps me to understand that there is a possibility of heart problems in that case. And why not people are not able to identify it through the blood test? Why they want to go for ECG, why they want to go for pulse oximetry, and all those things are there. Heart rate measurements, something like that. See, when you want to have an idea about this, and we found that a very very big problem is that the regular machines. See, this is the regular machines. You can see these machines. Okay, and these are all plasma. These are all machines. Regularly machines. They use their what I can say plasma machines. They call it as plasma machines, and there they'll just mix some liquid. It's called agents. It is called EDTA solution. Okay, in that serum it will separate the blood plasma, and only blood will be there. Only from the plasma they'll measure the what I can say clotting time. See, when we are able to work this for this research, it was actually for more than 1 year, I think 1.5 year. We did a very big project, and we have taken more samples, and we identified that why it is not identified. Because when you take your food before testing, okay, I think you can able to see this plasma and blood at a EDTA solution. What happens, the regular instruments which has been kept inside your laboratory, okay, the regular instrument have a lot of problems. It cannot able to identify when you take a food like vitamin K. Okay, when you have food item, foodstuffs. Okay, 1 or 2 days before, and if you have vitamin K more in your what I can say in your food, that will try to block your what I can say that will try to block your reading. It will have a noise, and this is what the finding we identified. And probably this was able to get. I want to thank at this time I think two people. Of course, he is the person who is doing this project. He's from Prasanna, and one more doctor. They helped me a lot to understand this problem. You have see, normally when you go to any biomedical instrument, they have samples 3 or 4 times. They take an average, and then they'll give the printouts. When you go to what is the difference between your blood test done in your lab and then in your home when you go for diabetes? We never take 2 3 drops, and we never go for average, but here they'll go for the average. In laboratories, pathology labs, they'll go for what I can say they'll have a very big repetition of the experimentation. Then they'll come to a point of average value calculation, and this is what happening. But still, when you take a blood, for example, when you go for blood test of diabetes, what happens, you should not take more wavy food, and you should take only 2 or 8 after food. This is how they make the pattern. But why not for the other things, for the other testings? Okay, and that is a very big issue. I faced it, and I found that how far you are eating, and then your blood has been influenced. So in that case, we were able to identify that I think vitamin K is influencing the accuracy. The food item which you take of, I think you're able to see here, the food item which you are taking here, vitamin K is having a very big influence in the measurement of your prothrombin. So what we did now, how to eradicate it? When we are thinking about how to eradicate it, then we identified that when you go for the chemical, it takes more time to understand. So what we did, each property, each material has its own radiating property. Since it is a conductive product, conductive element, and that will have its own radiation, and that has been taken from the UW antenna. So we made an UW antenna, and through this antenna, we were able to differentiate the vitamin K from the blood and then plasma. Now the plasma becomes very pure. See, that is what the thing that when you check your blood plasma, avoiding the turbidity, and reagent sensitivity. See, then the lab, there is a very big problem. After measuring this separation of the blood, you keep some solution, put it in your machine, and you are able to check the reagent. Okay. By the time, if the reagents are outdated, if the reagents are exposed to different ambient temperature, then there starts the failure in the accuracy. And that is what we found it. And keeping these two problems in the mind, and we observed that how to identify it, and that outcome was coming out through the antenna as a sensor, and especially how the antenna should be placed. That is a very important thing. Not every antenna you can able to do it. Which type of antenna can able to pick the signal, what is the frequency, and all those things you have discussed. See, now you can see any instrument. Okay, you can, it's not like that you want to go to any paper and you want to do it. You just go to the end user. End user knows a lot of things. Of course, I want to be very frank here. The user knows what is the problem with the instruments. Even the doctors will not be knowing it, but the user knows very well, because he used to work with this instrument for many times, many hours, and he's always sitting with the instrument, and that is going to make a very big idea for the researchers. But still, we are not considering this part, and that is what the quality of the research is not up to the mark. And if you cannot able to do this, you cannot able to identify a product. And that is the reason the research is not up to the level. And because we never consider the end user, we just take the paper and we just do it, but we never go for search for the problem of real-time people, end user. See, that is the very basic key point when we started it, and then we did this project. Now this is a non-enhancing method, and of course, when you talk about non-enhancing method, you may ask a question whether you are not measuring or piercing your blood. Yes, correct. But when you want to have a accurate, you can say that when you. Why I say it's a non-enhancing method? Of course, this blood can be checked by measuring it from your hand itself, and your prothormone can be checked out. Okay, that is also different, but still this is the second part. And of course I am showing that one part which is published, the other one is there. Of course, the same blood from your body you can able to measure, and you can do your pure plasma. Of course, I should not reveal it now, and it is under the process. But the basic step of this publication is that initially the blood which has been taken out, how you check it. Now these signals have been matched with the blood from the body without piercing it, and how to check the prothormone time. That is our entire what I can say process of research. Of course, this is what been done as a part. Now this is how one non-enhancing method. There are a lot of things to be discussed when you talk about non-enhancing method. See, when you talk about the other aspect, and you talk about blood, and a very important thing is that blood has blood gas analysis, blood gas analyzer. And of course, when you talk about the next area is that blood gas test. Okay, and I think this is a very new area, and this is a very good area for the people to understand, and it is a very, very nice field. Okay, and blood gas test. See, I'm just giving a very basic idea why I'm taking on the live, because if I put a PPT, you will not get an idea. But still, when I show it, it will be really helpful for you, because you never want to go at the back after completion of this class. Maybe you may get a time or may not be getting the time, but you can able to understand this blood gas test. Blood gas test. Okay, blood gas test is a very important gas test, and these gases you can identify. Blood gas test, where to identify, how to identify. It means that how far your purification is done, and how far your pH level is there in your blood, and you can able to identify these things: kidney failure, heart failure, uncontrolled diabetes, and hemorrhage. Okay, hemorrhage, and chemical poisoning, and drug overdosage, shock. These are the very, very best thing to get your what I can say, a blood gas test. Maybe people would have been gone for some other analysis, but it is called arterial blood gas. You know that because your blood is carrying some oxides. Blood is a transportation of all gases, and each blood, if you can able to identify what is the problem, that will be a very beautiful non-invasive tool, because you can start from your brain to, you can start from your heart failure, start from your kidney. Major of the problems are being identified when you know that what is the blood gas test. Okay, blood gas test. Okay, see, when you have what I can say, the symptoms, and shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, confusion, and all those things, your confusion, hemorrhage is that, hemorrhage is that a very very big problem. Okay, which is arising in the body, and it is a loss of blood, and okay, bleeding, all those things will come. Okay, and this is a very big problem, basic problem, that arises in different areas. Now this is a very big test. Okay, and then when you talk about this blood gases. Okay, blood gases, the measuring of blood gases. Of course, there are a lot of blood gases, but the thing is, on different location, how it behaves. And that type of analysis is required. Even if you take a blood from the other side of the organ, how the transportation is done, and that is also one type of analysis. Of course, I'm not. I'm just going to talk about blood-related non-invasive instruments. Nothing else. I'm going to discuss here in this class. Okay, what are the other tests you can able to do with your blood test? Blood test. Only I'm just going to talk about the blood, human blood, nothing else. Okay, what are the things you can do when you go ahead with the blood test? And in that blood test, what are the gaps are left out? How the instruments has to be checked, and how far you can able to do it. Because when you take any blood, the clotting time is very high, and when the laboratory technicians takes more time to analyze, then their reading is changed. Okay, that is a very important thing, because your ambient room condition, because blood will clot within 2 minutes, it can dry within 4 5 seconds, and your outer environment things will enter into this blood, and of course it is being concealed, and you are having a lot of procedures to follow. But still, if you go to any laboratory, if you have unluckily more testing today, and if the person takes more time, and your blood is not measured at the time, because you have some reagents and processing time, and things are there. Three parameters I want to talk here is that a very important thing is that I'll just open my this one.
Sir, sir,
Hello.
Yes, sir, it's audible
Yes.
now.
Oh, sorry. There was a shake in my what I can say, speaker. Okay. Now I think I have stopped here about the blood test and blood levels. Now we are going to see something about only with the blood gases. So as I said, blood gases. What are the problems there? What are the problems are there in the blood gases? Okay. And when you talk about this blood, and you can see this, what are the real time problem in the blood measurement? If you have it in your test tube, now this is your test tube. See, the blood has been kept here, and if the time is being consumed more, because the testing time, the testing time should be within a particular limit. But the the people who work here, they take their own time, and then if the time is very high, then automatically there will be changes in the variation. Now, when the reagents are outdated reagents, okay, reagents. Now reagents are outdated. Now it is for old reagents. Then that starts the problem. And here the time delay is the first problem. Okay, time is the first problem. Okay, and now your second thing is that the very major thing and the very major part is that the time, and then reagent problem, and then your input of the blood. What is that? They have taken the food. Okay, food influences the blood. Food influences the blood. But many tests, they never consider the influence of the blood, food in the blood. Say, when you go to, I'll just make a reverse of this. When you go to glucose test, okay, or when you go for treadmill test, treadmill test, treadmill test, treadmill test. You are being asked to take a glucose, then you are being allowed to run inside. And even in a blood test, blood glucose test, you are being allowed to take some glucose, then you have to test it. See, they take 1.5 hours of time. Okay, even it is only that the mixing of the time, but how much time it stays in the body is a very big question mark. We give the time for the mixing, but we never identify that whether to purify, whether I mix some glucose in my body, when that becomes pure, that has not been given a time. Okay, and now how come you take a blood on that part and you do your analysis will be correct? That is what the main thing we are able to analyze. And that part we identified that vitamin K is having a lot of influences. Okay, it's a lot of influences. Now you go to any doctor and you take a juice and then you go for blood test, they'll say no, it is not allowed. Because you take your normal food, then you have to analyze what is the diabetes level. Not that by taking heavy food or not by taking sugar content foods. It's not like that. So food is having an influence in the testing. But still, how many testers have been considering this food as a main part? There starts the problem. So I'm here to say only the problem which I was able to identify. Maybe this, maybe some people say that, okay, it's not acceptable, it is negligible, but still we don't have any perfect classification for this. A perfect classification. You have a lot of blood tests, there are a lot of tests. When you go to blood report, you can see a lot of blood reports. Okay. And as I said, oxygen test. And then as I said, your, what I can say, your prothrombin test, and then diabetes. Of course, diabetes, many people know that food intake will influence the blood. But why not for the other tests? That becomes a very big question. If this is the case, how much of people want to rely this? Why not we can go for a non-invasive method? Why not we cannot go for a non-invasive method? Of course, in this case, what is the problem? Non-invasive means it is only that it is not accurate. Yes, I accept it. Yes, I accept it. But still, you can identify the things at the early stage. How many people are aware that in medical technology, the blood, the temperature of the body, which is checked at from the oral or from the ankle, is not equal to the blood temperature over the ear. There is a temperature measurement over the ears. When you go for surgery, the temperature, body temperature will be calculated from your eardrums. So this is the actual temperature. That is accurate temperature, because when you do the surgery, if more clotting is happening. If the body blood temperature goes down, then it becomes the clot. So to avoid that, when you go for the surgery, this has been maintained. And how many people are aware about it? Even our instruments which is being used locally doesn't have more accuracy. Why not we go for different level? You just take a normal disease which is well known to everybody, diabetes. You just check with your home diagnostic instruments, and you say that it is not perfect. Then you go to your hospital. There you do some blood test. There are some testing procedures are there. Then you go for 3 months average test, and then you have glucose test, and all those tests are there. Why these tests are there? Since there are there are some difference in their accuracy. In that part, when you want to make a non-enhancer, okay, it will have its own accuracy, exact accuracy. I accept it, but still, it will be the instrument to have the continuous monitoring, which we cannot able to do it. So I'll just give one more example. Now I'll just take a very beautiful example, and now you can see a person. Okay, you have a person, and you know that the blood sugar of this person is about 120. Okay, I think that it is 120, and of course, don't put a question whether it is a normal or abnormal. You think that it is an 120. That's it. I'm not bothered about remaining thing. I'll just make it here. See, now I'll just take as 120. See, this 120 has appeared at that time how I measured. Okay, I measured. And this is what the thing you identified. Okay, good. But how far this 120 is prevailing, okay, on the entire day. How do you think that this entire day will have the same value? No, it is continuously changing. Do you think that every half an hour I can go to the lab, I can check it out? No. Do you think that every one day or half a day I can the blood, I can give the blood and L check? Now here plays a non-enhancer. What I'm trying to say here is that non-enhancer may be not much accurate than the laboratory or any other instrument, but still, even the laboratory instruments have different type level of accuracy, depends upon the situations, conditions. But here in non-enhancer, the accuracy is not much equivalent to the laboratory. Okay, I accept it, but where is the problem of continuous monitoring? For example, fluctuating diabetes. Now I have a fluctuating diabetes. How can I measure this? Fluctuating pressure value. How many people are able to identify with the biological instruments, any medical biomedical instruments? We never consider this. Now I'll just show you. Fluctuating blood pressure. Nobody talks about the fluctuating blood pressure. Okay, nobody talks, because when they take some reading will be having very big changes. See, when you have food and drink, what is your issue? And you have a lot of problems. When you get anxiety, by the time your pressure increases. When you are in stress, it is increases. How do you know this? For example, if I have a fluctuating pressure only at my work environment, how do I know it? Or after completing my work environment or coming to my home, thinking about the same job, what I had done, and keeping unwanted stuff in my brain, whether it increases the stress or decreases the stress. How do I know this?
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sorry, there is a disconnection in my net. Okay,
Okay.
now, and we are not having your connectivity. We are not talking about the fluctuations. When you want to talk about the fluctuation, is it audible? Is it audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we are not talking about the fluctuations. See, the fluctuation is that at what level, due to what reason, your fluctuation has been occurring. That fluctuation, fluctuating pulse rate, fluctuating oxygen level. See, you know that the pulse, fluctuating oxygen level. It's a very beautiful, what I can say, analysis which you can able to make it from your blood test. Very beautiful test. Fluctuating oxygen levels. Okay, the pulse oximeter. You can see this using pulsating. How we can do this? I've seen one research recently. A person was been, I think, a girl in North India was doing this research. I think she is a school student. Sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
Hello.
Sir, it's
Very good.
audible.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And now we are going to see something about fluctuating oxygen levels. A school student was able to identify the fluctuating oxygen levels after the prayers. She has just taken the SpO2 level, okay, when a person before a prayer and after prayer. There was a very big change in the oxygen level. And this was a very beautiful experiment done by a student in North India, I think in Bihar. A 9th standard student was able to do that. And it was a very beautiful research. And she was doing some test for 50 to 20 people. Only just having a simple instrument in her hand, and she make them to do prayers. And the people who do a lot of in-depth prayers, they had a very good oxygen level. That was the impact. See, this is how you do some activity, you have a change in your blood, and this is a very beautiful blood-based analysis. Okay, blood is a very vital thing, and of course, in traditional medicine, Indian medicines, blood plays a very vital role. I don't know how many people are aware about it, and many people would have been aware about it when you go for any other diseases. For example, if you take any other diseases, if you go to the very basic medical medication in allopathy or in siddha or in any sort of what I can say, alternate medicines, or you say the traditional medicines, whatever it may be, the very first thing is that they clean their blood. They give the medicine only to clean the blood, and they make that blood clean. Then only the medicine will be given. They clean the body first. Of course, this was the usual procedure, but we are not following it. When you go to any olden technique, you will be cleaning your entire body. The meaning of cleaning of entire body is that your intestine should be clean, then your blood will be clean, then the medicine will be given. But of course, we don't have time to do this. We don't have time to wait for this, and we want to make everything very fast and with a very quick, and that makes a very big impact in the other aspects. But we never feel about it. We never feel about it. We never know about it. That is a problem. We feel that we are comfort, so we think that the disease is over. It's not like that. When you are comfort by taking some medicine, then you feel immediately good. That is a very big danger. Anything has its own growth. For example, if you take diabetes, it's not that immediately the diabetes would have come to you. It takes its own growth. What I can say, what they used to kill, what they used to call it as your very. I think I forgot it. 1 second. Lifestyle modification. That is a very big clinic. Now, if you go to very big hospitals, now they talk about lifestyle modifications. See, people are not aware about lifestyle modification. Lifestyle modification is having a direct impact on the blood. Direct impact on the blood. And blood plays a very important thing. If you try to sleep at different time, if you get up at a different time, your blood level changes. Your blood is influencing. Okay, that is what the thing you have to understand. So blood is having a very big tool to analyze. Okay, blood and your blood and one second, blood and lifestyle modification and blood. You can see this. You can see this lifestyle modification changes the high blood pressure. Lifestyle modification. Lifestyle affects the blood pressure. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now they are talking only about your lifestyle modification. Talks about only hypertension. No, it's not like that. Lifestyle modification will change your entire body, entire organ, entire thing. And this is a very big lab nowadays coming up in many hospitals. Especially in cardiac hospitals, they have very big clinic and they make the people to understand lifestyle modification. And lifestyle modification comes with an alternate solution. What do you mean by lifestyle modification? And how to solve this? Lifestyle modification changes your blood. Lifestyle modification changes your brain. Lifestyle modification changes your functional organ. The lifestyle modification changes your happiness. Lifestyle modification makes you more happy. Lifestyle modification, what is that? The regular thing which you are disturbing. You are taking the food continuously. At the one age, at 40, and you say that your rice is not good. Then previous days we are eating only the rice. How come by those days it was very good? Why now rice has become enemy? That is how we do it. We never think in that part. And you say that, I was taking at the age of up to 40 a good rice and I don't have any blood pressure or something like that, anything. But after 40, I say that because of the age I get these things. No, it's not like that. After 40, you change your lifestyle modification. You take more things in your activity, some modification. See, when you go for any modification, for example, your lifestyle modification. Now I'll just show you. See, these lifestyle modification, you can able to get it very clearly from your blood tests. Lifestyle modification, you can able to get it from your blood test. Even your stress level, and even your what I can say, your mood swing, and everything. Blood is a very basic element. It's a very basic element to cure all the diseases. Why I'm saying about this? Because many researches has to be done based on blood. Because even if your blood is not good, automatically your muscle oxygen changes. Say somebody gets pain, if you go for walking, it is called muscle oxygen. There is one more area called oxygen in muscles. Okay, muscle oxygen. The muscle oxygen. We never think that muscle also needs an oxygen. Okay, the muscle oxygen is a very important thing to analyze your what I can say. At a different age, you get some pain, muscle stress, pain, something like that. We never do this. We never analyze it because all related with the blood. All related to the blood. How to change this? That is what I just shown there. Lifestyle modification and this is a lifestyle modification and blood pressure. So you can see this is a blended learning and flipped learning. So I don't have any material. I'm just sharing my experience, and you have to follow this. And if you follow this, it will be very useful for you because we have done many experiments. We went to a lot of hospitals, and we are full time doing the research, and we can give you a lot of what I can say suggestions so that you can improve. And we also do this, especially for teaching communities nowadays. You need it because you lose your body because the situations are very worst. You get a lot of stress. how to change the stress. Already we have sampled nearly 10 people, teachers, and we identified that their cholesterol level has come down, their oxygen level improved, their testings have been stopped, and APIs has been changed, and their mood swing has been stopped, and their visual working memory is improved. And these are all the parameters. Of course, these are the very big parameters. Of course, these are all the different parameters which has been done by the different people in the society, but we don't have interconnectivity. That is what we connect and we do the research. Our research is only on multidisciplinary platform. This is a very good thing. Of course, this may be very beauty when you realize it. See, there is when you go for this type of fasting, that is when you have a blood level damages. Any level it takes only from the blood level. Anything you can identify with the blood, but still we don't have a procedure to do this. That is a problem. We don't have proper research has been done for this. Okay. The blood after the pumping out, how it behaves. The blood before goes inside the blood before pumping, we never do this. We take a blood and you identify it. That's it. Whether it is in blood or out blood. Okay. And this is a very big issue in the blood analysis. If you look slowly, you can take each instrument, you can analyze it. And whether you are taking the blood from artery or some other veins, that's become a very big change. We never think about it. You just take a blood thinking that it is a vein and artery, and you do check it out. And you say that both, we don't have this. Say, I want to check the quality of a product. Whether I want to check the quality of the product at the end side or the first side. That is a very big important thing. What do you mean end side and the first side? Say, I take the heart. Blood goes inside, impure blood. And a pure blood comes out. Now, if I want to check the quality of the heart, do you think that the impure blood should be checked or pure blood has to be checked? Now, this becomes a question in the blood test. We never think in that part. We never do in that part. Okay, and this, of course, we give an average concept that both blood and impure blood and your pure blood are same, and you say that everything has been there in the body. That is the problem. And see, you can check this when you go for analysis with the blood. See, when you talk about lifestyle diseases, and now this alternate lifestyle diseases, you can check it out with some other modification. What is that lifestyle diseases? Has to be rectified. I have pressure. I have all female problems. You have a lot of things. From the blood. I think I never want to say this in the forum. There are just I'll make a full stop here. Female problems. It all starts with the blood. They don't have hemoglobin, and they will have that effect in all the parts of the body. And when you don't have hemoglobin in your body, and especially female knows their mood swings, and whenever there is a loss in their blood in the body, something like that, they have some mood swings. And when there is a very big hormonal changes in the body at the age of 40 to 45, their entire mood will be swinging. Okay, and the same, blood plays a very vital role. A lot of things are there to do with the blood. See, now, the blood makes a very big difference. You can give an example when you go to villages. If the particular if they have their chicken, okay, normally chickens will be given some neem leaf and what I can say, your garlic to be healthy sometimes. Or you can take goat. Goat should have. There are a lot of diseases in the goat. Avoided, just like that mouth food diseases. Normally mouth food diseases are in the goat. So to avoid this, what they do, they just give their neem leaf and then turmeric. If the goat is going to be cut within 1 or 2 days, by that time they'll be very cautious of what the food that goat is going to be given. And they never give this, because if you give the neem leaf, automatically the flesh which you take, cook, that will have its own what I can say, effect in the meat. So you see this is how we did it, but we never do this in our real-time measurement. So here starts the opening for the what I can say, non-enhanced tools, especially in the blood. Now, especially we can do this test. Everybody, you can check with the very simple pulse oximeters, and pulse oximeters are there readily available for 800 and 700. And you can go for some alternate diseases. You can measure it. You can measure your from your body how it behaves. Now you can see this one more alternative thing for this is that lifestyle modification is that nowadays they come with the different solutions. It's called intermittent fasting. See, this is the alternate solution for intermittent fasting. This is a very beautiful result, and a lot of research papers are there. It shows that you have a very big change in your entire body, mind, and everything. And this is the paper article, recent article. A lot of papers are coming out to opponent of this lifestyle modification. What we did, if you want to make it reverse. Okay. And you can see this very beautiful fasting. It is called intermittent fasting. It's a very beautiful paper, and you can see this. So this is a very beautiful paper. A lot of papers are there, and this is an intermittent fasting. Of course, there are a lot of food items are coming out, paleo foods, something like that, something like that. A lot of foods are coming out, but still all it needs some effective procedures and measures. But still, this is a recent this is a very recent technique which has been followed, and we are also having some idea about this intermittent fasting. We have checked with the people, and we were able to get some idea about this intermittent fasting. It has given a very good result, and this is a very popular method, and there are some patents to do this, and you solve all your problems, and you all solve your problems. Okay. And this is a very beautiful technique, and this you can check when you have this type of food item. Now you just check your blood level, you check your blood test, either lab or non-enhanced. First you do it in non-enhanced, then you understand it, and how far your because your intermittent fasting is a very beautiful what I can say, very beautiful fasting. Of course, the chart varies from person to person. Of course, some countries says that because you cannot compare this with American to Indian. But of course, Indians are different, Americans are different. Even if you go and ask the PCR test for COVID analysis, the strain in America and the strain in India will be different because their environment is different when they go for the testing. See, here also the same problem comes here. Please don't try to follow this, what I can say, this intermittent fasting. Don't try to follow which is available in the net. So one more big pollution, okay, media pollution. You just read something in the net and you do something and you get a lot of problems. So far, if you are a very good cook, and if you have seen from YouTube, if you cook by seeing the YouTube, no way you didn't get very good food by seeing the first time. You have to apply our brain, and you have to apply to our situation, then only it comes good for our family. You see something in YouTube, you cannot do it. And that is what a lot of engineers are doing here nowadays. By seeing the YouTube, they want to do some circuits or something like that. No, it's not like that. Who are already familiarized in that, when they try it, they can understand where is the gap, they will correct it, then they make a very good food. Okay, you may see that in YouTube, they are getting very good and nice food, but for us it will not come. Because our temperature is different. They never show the temperature. What is the temperature you have to keep? And they never see the vessel. You see only the ingredient. But a vessel also makes a very big impact in the cooking. But we never think in that way. See, that is the gap there available when you go for. Of course, it's not that I say that it's wrong, but still we want to apply our own experience. Then you can do it. See, I've seen many people in the society by seeing the YouTube, they'll try to get some votes and they'll try to do that and they will not get the answer. Whereas the same thing we see, because we have come across many programming and level and we failed by breaking our heads, we have an experience. Maybe few you may get it, but not 90% you don't get it. I think if you have tried it, you will understand it. Similar way, don't try to take something from the net and don't try to follow. Actually, our country-based system. This is the. You think that this is a very big method? No, it is not a very big method. It is a basic Ayurvedic method, Now it has becoming more popular. Of course, in Ayurveda, you say that you have to take your food from morning 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock. That's it, evening 6 o'clock. If you go to Sainik schools, if you go to Chinese schools, their dinner starts by 6:30 to 7:30, I suppose to believe. Then 11:45, then they close by 6:30, 6:37. That's it. 7 is the maximum by 5:30 to 6:30. If you are in defense area, you can see this how these foods are supplied to the defense people. Okay, because defense they are more cautious in their food. Okay, and their foods are in such a way that they will be aggressive. They have to be aggressive. The food will be provided in such a way that they'll be aggressive because food is having a direct bearing on your brain and thinking, thought, and pressure, and that is being done through your blood. Because as you eat, the first thing is that blood is going to take everything. So the blood plays a very vital role. So blood needs a lot of innovative aspects, understanding, and then you can do it. Okay, this is a very good method, and you can reduce all your stress. You can reduce all your diabetes, and you can reduce your thyroid problem. You can reduce your heart problem, heart block, and you can reduce your what I can say uh, uh, any other thing, female problems. Everything can be stopped out. Of course, this was a golden technique followed in India, and of course, it is called a pattern of eating, and that makes your blood to be changed. See, whenever you do something with Ayurveda Siddha, they'll be much talking about the gases. They'll be much what I can say eating your acidity problem, that is your gas problems, and they talk about blood and all those things. If you normally if your digestion problem is related to your what I can say digestion, that reflects in your blood. Your skin will be having black color over the surface of your forehead. So this is because of the blood. Because the skin is the major part rotating all over the region. The skin has been circulated with the blood at the background. So blood plays a very important role. But still, bloods are not related to the non-enhancing method of analysis. It's not that you want to make an analysis by instrument. It is also that you have a regular laboratory method. You can go for biostatistics. You can analyze it. You take some 10 samples and you just take your pulse oximeter and you just see how far they're healthy by having your fasting, how far their oxygen levels are improved. That also makes a very big research, and that is what the research has been done here. And effectiveness of intermittent fasting to potentiate weight loss or muscle gain in human younger than 60 years old. Systematic review. So you can see this is a beautiful review paper. Okay, it talks about all the problems, metabolism changes. You can see this similar articles. You can see this obesity. I just mark it here. You can see the obesity, your metabolism changes, your body composition, inflammations. Your maximal strength. You may not be knowing that there will be some sort of inflammation. Inflammation is that you get some bulges in your heart, different organs that can be reduced, and then you can see these lot of researches is going on. You can see all the similar researches, especially in the year of 2020. So you can see this lot of researches in the library. You can see this, the rating has been increased from the statistics. Okay, how many papers have been published? It is keep on increasing. Now this makes you more healthy. It improves your immunity level. It gets you a lot of basic problem, sleeping problems, and all those things you can able to make it. And there's a very beautiful thing. Now, by keeping this, we can go for a non-enhancing method of analyzing your body, okay, and your blood. This is a one way of making your non-enhancing analysis of your instruments. I think I have made a very short and a very what I can say very because I have more things to talk about this especially, but I stopped it here because there are a lot of things to be discussed. I never want to discuss because it goes beyond, but still there are a lot. I'm just showing the way where you can put your eyes so that you can develop a product. It's a non-enhancing fasting method of making your blood purification, how the blood is purified, how your clotting is improved, and how your heart functions. And then you can also identify this intermittent fasting. to go ahead with the non-enhancing instrument, how your magnetic property changes. It is called human biomagnetism. Human biomagnetism. Because when I say these things, people will not be able to get it, because it should not be like a myth. It should be a real time. That is what I'm just showing in the live. I have a very beautiful book, Human Biomagnetism. Very useful book. Each organ has its own, what I can say, each organ has its own uh, biomagnetism. I just take one book. As we did a very beautiful project, a non-invasive way of measuring your blood, and of course, anyway, I think it is there. Anyway, bioelectromagnetism principles are there. I don't know where did I kept it. Okay, now using this biomagnetism, we were able to identify the fluctuation of the blood. I'll just show you. Monitoring. So this is what the fluctuating diabetes. We were able to get it to solve, and it has been tied up with many professors, and of course they are from physics department, and you can see here once again. You can able to once again. Is it audible?
Yes, sir. It's audible, sir.
See, this is a paper which we have designed, which we have developed, with the help of a physics department from Government College Salem, and we identified that the human biomagnetism of the liver is trying to totally have its own influences, and we did this very very beautiful answer. We were able to get it, and we have checked the biomagnetic property of an organ, and that organ shows a very big change before food and after food. Of course, we are talking about the blood. When blood is there, automatically magnetic property is there, because it is a transportation of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin has many magnetic materials. So we have analyzed with the magnetic emission of the organ, because organs are circulated with the blood. So each organ has its own magnetic property. Of course, I had a very beautiful book. I don't have. I want to check it out, because by making that book, by reading the textbook, by analyzing the magnetic property, we were able to do lot of research. And this was a very beautiful research, and then it has been done about the seeing the fluctuation. Now this is a non-enhancing method of analyzing. And initially, when you go for a non-enhancing, you have to be comparing with the regular laboratory method, and that is a very important thing. I think that we can able to do it very easily, because you get a lot of data from the laboratory. Of course, if you go to hospitals, sometimes you may not be get it, but in laboratories you may get it. Same magnetic property, we have used it for analyzing for glaucoma. I'll just show you the other paper. I think this is the one more paper, and this is also from the physics department. We had a tie-up with some hospitals, and then we did it. This is a non-enhanced glucose glaucoma, non-invasive glaucoma measurement, GMR sensors. See, of course, I think you can see this. A syringe, of course, I have discussed previous lecture also. We use this GMR sensor. This is a magnetic property of the what I can say your magnetic property of your aqueous fluid. Okay, because I did a lot of research, I'm really struggling, which I have to say, because we did a lot of things here for glaucoma itself, and we are also doing some other things right now, and this is how it has been made. See, the non-invasive method of analyzing the glaucoma property, what happens to the fluid in morning times, whether it is how it is there, in evening time how it behaves, whether during the temperature, for example, in daytime, the glaucoma fluid, because the outer environment, because it's a blockage, whether fluid is trying to move or something like that, and that is how we try to analyze it. Okay, so this is how you can change, you can analyze your biomagnetic property of an organ to have the continuous monitoring, where you can solve a problem of fluctuation, and you can connect the different organs. You can analyze a non-enhancing thing. It's not that replacing an instrument is the non-enhancing. A non-enhancing should be in a different way, connecting the different parts of the organ, get your idea. That is also a non-enhancing way, because see, when you have a biomagnetic property of an eye is been correlated with the biomagnetic property of a liver or a pancreas, you can able to see that many diabetic patients will have some giddiness. Now, what happens to the magnetic property of the organ of eye region? What are the property of your liver region? Whether the peak was started from the liver or from the eye, and how far it behaves? What are the other parts are behaving because of this diabetes? You can simply check this with the biometric property. And of course, nowadays there are a lot of sensors are available for these biometric properties. And of course, you can import it, you can get it, and you can develop a product like this. And it's a very beautiful research, and many people are working on sensors in India. And parallelly, we are working, of course, in I suppose IIT Kharagpur. A lot of people are designing in physics lab. They're designing these glaucoma sensors, and they say that there are impact of radiations of the material. But of course, we take this and we do it for a different aspect. I mean that uh, we are what I can say, we are analyzing the organ-based analysis of the biometric property, and that is how we do it. So this is how you can bring out your non-enhancing method of analysis. Of course, there are a lot of classifications for this type of, according to FDA, Food and Drug Administration. There is a classification. I'll just show you the classifications. There is one particular classification. And there is an FDA classification, because if you want to know about this, you should know about this particularly. How FDA classifies. And this is the medical device classification. It's a very beautiful classification, and this is the way you have to classify it. And I'll just show you. Of course, this is well known to biomedical. Anyway, just sharing the video.
Sir,
Yes.
okay, sir. Now it is audible.
Audio is audible. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because I don't know how to share the audio because it's a very beautiful thing you can understand.
Sir, you can post the link via chat box, sir, so that they can watch it in future also.
Yeah, I'll just do it. Okay, we'll just have that up to the level of classification, then we'll jump onto the class. See, actually, according to FDA, and it is called in vitro devices. That is what I want to show you because and this is the terminology used by FDA. It is not non-invasive technique, in vitro technique. You have the classification because there is a myth among the people that non-invasive means you should not use your blood. It's not like that. It's not like that. You're not piercing. Non-invasive is that a different thing. You can have your blood also mingled with in vitro and in vivo analysis. Okay, that is what I want to mean here, and that is what I want to make an FDA device classification. It's a very big thing to understand. So now we jump on to our the next part is that from biomagnetism, how to develop instruments based on biomagnetism. What are their instruments that are dealing with the biomagnetism? And how we can develop the biomagnetism tools to analyze the organ. Of course, this biomagnetism, it's a very simple tool, and you can get it how to do this. When you give some idea about biomagnetism, because biomagnetism plays a very vital role, and if you want to do this, you have to get this biomagnetic sensors, which is readily available from NV corporations. NVE corporations. And this is the NVE corporations where they develop a lot of biomedical sensors. And when you go here, you can see a lot of spintronic sensors, which comes under this. And you can see this using these sensors. You can go ahead. I just want to show you some medical sensors application nodes. You can see these applications of the sensors. Of course. suppose you can see the videos. I'll just post this, but this is not the main thing to understand. Anyway, I'll just post this video, and it's a sensor video. You can see a lot of sensors has been developed, and you can see this a lot of applications. I'll just make this one application. I'll just give the link so that you can have. But even that company, they never do with the biomedical. Of course, we can do with the biomedical. Just connect your biomedical what I can say, your biomedical mechanism book, and then you can analyze this. You can have a lot of things to be developed. Okay. Of course, these are all mechanical, and these are all totally mechanical videos, because they do very less. Of course, they have the module for medical GMR, and of course, you can show it here. The data sheets, I think from the data sheets I can get it for you. Oh yeah, medical sensors. So this is the medical sensors. You can see this application. Hearing aids and pacemaker, neurostimulators, and then you can see these drug pumps. So you can see these medical sensor guides, and you can see this how they are using these medical sensors. And a lot of research can be done with this medical sensors. You know, a lot of people are doing already researches in this particular medical sensors. Okay, and this is a one more area I can able to post it here. And you can take this as a problem statement. You can work on this. And this is how the thing we do it with the medical sensor. Now, when you take this medical sensor, what are the other things you can do with this medical sensor beyond your organ, beyond your what I can say, beyond your thing. Now, these medical sensors can be made for analyzing the gases, because the gases have its magnetic property. I think you can able to connect it what I was saying from the first. You can see this gas and magnetic field. See, you can see this effect of magnetic fields. Lot of electromagnetic behavior of the gases. You can able to see this. It's a very recent study, and you can see this gas-based analysis. Now, this gas and then this type of mechanism are made to develop a new technology called digital scent technology. You know, signal processing, digital signal processing, digital image processing, and digital radar processing, whatever it may be, all processing. But now it is going to be a syllabus within few years. And this is called digital scent technology. It's a very beautiful era is coming out with a technology called digital scent technology. Year after, IZ will try to work as nose. Your laptop is having your eyes through camera and ears through your mic, okay? And I think all other organs are there except the nose. No, the nose, electronic nose has been made in a form of digital scent technology. Year after, your laptop can able to smell whatever there and around the laptop on the room where you open it. At the same time, very beautiful beyond the human is that it can able to generate gases. If my room should be fresh with some jasmine smell, if that is the case, I want to have it. No, I can make it very simple. Just I want to have a click. The IC in my laptop will try to generate this flavor. This all works with digital scent technology, works with chemistry, polymers, and printing technology, electronics, and your signal processing and nanotechnology all are combined in this area. This is a very new technology, and already some devices have been there. And of course, we also tried in our own setup by digital scent imaging technique, digital scent image processing. There was a very beautiful output digital scent image processing. See, you can take the different thousands of images. Of course, this is a one beautiful technology which takes the images of the what I can say, thousand pictures of digital technology, new chapter in IT industry. See, Arama tells the thousand pictures. See, now it comes under the human image processing. You can take any gas, of course. When you interfere with the other department, chromatography, or if you go for gas chromatography missions, and if you go for some sensors which is readily available to analyze the gas, in that way you can able to identify lot of what I can say, technologies can be used, and you can able to develop some products in that way. It is a very beautiful technology. Now you can have your magnetic sensor even for the gases, of course. You just take this sensor, keep it over different gases in the chemistry lab, and you try to analyze, and it becomes a very big thing to put into your papers, and you can develop a lot of instruments because the breathing also, the gases, once again, the breathing, the blood and the exposed air, because the purification in your body done with the blood, and the blood does this purification by air. If your heart is not supplied with the air, then how come the purification can able to do this? So when the close related thing is to your blood is that your breathing. There are 27 diseases you can able to identify your disease from the breathing. Breathing can be identified. Breathing can be used as a tool to identify different diseases. I suppose to believe 27 diseases you can able to identify it. And of course, if you are a very good doctor, the doctor is very good, not having, very good doctor will not have a scent or any flavor on his her body, and it's a very basic rule to be followed. They should not use any scent, flowers, I don't know how many have known about it. Nowadays, the doctors are not like that. Because, if you have the flower around you and you may not able to smell the body of a person who is sitting about front of you. And if the people are in the deathbed, their body will not decay, but the smell which comes out will be known to the people very well. Doctors can easily identify it because they are seeing the patients. But still, the efficiency of that type of calculation is different, but it's not coming down because the thing is that you can see this in the diseases. I'll show you. You can see this analysis of exhale breathing disease detection. Of course, I have a very book, and you can see this. The composition of exhale breathe may contain valuable information presenting of all the diseases. And your total metabolism also can be checked. And now when you have that breathing, now you can analyze your magnetic property or gas property. I think now you can able to interconnect what I was starting from the first, what I am trying to say from the till now. It's very simple is that I said you have your blood. Okay, you have your blood. From that blood, you know that it is having the influence of all the organ because it's a transportation of the what I can say, hemoglobin to all the regions. So blood plays a very vital role. and you are connected with all the other traditional medicines, and then the blood is having influence with the ambient environment and food eating habits. Food, food, and food, and what I can say, ambient, surrounding temperature, and all those things is going to have an impact. So this is going to be taken an important part, which influences here, and then we are trying to say that the blood has gas property. When I say gas, you have your magnetic property, and now you can use this magnetic property to analyze and to develop a device for non-enhancer based, or I can say that in vitro analysis, non-enhancer devices. So non-enhancer devices will have its own influence based on organ based, and you can interconnect the different organs, and you organ base and different organs, and you can have a very beautiful non-enhancer method of analysis. So this is how you can make your paper, and you can make your research and a product, because you know that research leads to paper article, then article goes to the product. So this is how you can make your entire non-enhancer way of analysis. In turn, talking about different type of analysis, and I have shared my own experience, and I have shown some sensors, and I've related with FDA classification, whether this is coming under FDA class. Yes, it's coming under FDA classification, and then you can able to get a very clear-cut idea about this particular non-enhancer method of one region is the blood region. I'm taking a blood, connecting the different organs, connecting your food, where there are some connectivities are left out has been connected here, and you can have your own lot of applications, lot of things. See, I want to be very clear here is that, see, I think I have made my investment for this publication of this particular paper, this glaucoma non-enhancer method of glaucoma measurement, I suppose, to show, I think, right there. Of course, the non-enhancer method, we have spent only to have this data, not more than, what I can say, we had only an investment of 10 to 15 rupees to 15,000 rupees to bring out a very beautiful non-enhancer method of developing your glaucoma sensors. Of course, this we made it only this particular expenditure is that we did it with the material like Kapton substrate material, and of course we were able to spend around 2,000 rupees, and we made a very beautiful. We got a very beautiful instrument. Of course, it has been approved by some doctors, and we have presented this in IIT Kanpur, I supposed to believe. And this has been given at the initial stage in IIT Kanpur, and they've made it a very good suggestions, and we improved by seeing that, and we changed it. So this is how the thing is that, it's not like that to make a very big papers. It's not that you need a very big instruments. You can also think in the other way, where is the things we are available with the instruments, because when you talk something about, when I want to do something with the blood gas, and there will be a question there whether I have a gas chromatography instrument. Of course, it costs around 25 to 30 lakhs. Maybe it will be available in premier institutes or in research labs. I think I have seen this in CSIR lab at Thermony, and they used to give some values. You have to go and you have to check it out to analyze the blood gas analysis. You can take the blood at different organ level or different region of the body, and you can go for analysis. On the blood chromatography, you can able to get a lot of information. Of course, this can be kept as a feasibility line that blood is having a changes, and proportionally magnetic property will be changed. Now you take your magnetic property of this particular blood and you analyze the different organs. This is how you have to make a non-enhancer method of analysis. It's not that you said a non-enhancer, why you are just taking the blood. Don't try to think in that way. To validate your result, you have to rely on your older techniques. But still, accuracy point may be varying. I accept it. But still, if you want to do a very good research, it should be correlated with the laboratory value. That is a very important thing you have to understand. Now, when you talk about this other sensors, if at all you are not aware about other sensors, if you feel that this is a very big thing to get into the what I can say, the sensors, you may have a problem of importing something like that. You can develop your own sensors. You can develop your own any sensors because the materials are readily available, and of course you can make your 3D printing sensors. Of course, there are some technology instead of replacing this, buying this, and you can go for 3D printing technology sensor, 3D printing sensors. Of course, you have seen something in yesterday classes about your 3D printing organs. Of course, you can do your 3D printing sensors. It's a very beautiful sensors. You can make it with a very simple tools. Even you can take your ordinary printer and you can develop your sensors. I'll just show you. See, actually, this is a review of sensors. I have taken it and I want to show you. It's from the Germany. So you can see a lot of sensors. You can make it cell-based sensors, bionic sensors. You can see this printing technology. Printing technology. You can see this gypsum ceramic stainless steel material, and you can see this relevant material and how to make this sensors. I'll just show you. You can see this strain sensor. Okay, I'll just share this view. Screen sharing is not proper. Now is it okay? I think who has post Ganesh. Okay. Now you can see this paper. So of course, I'm not trying to take this because I want to show you some papers how to do the sensors. How to do the sensors. Of course, you don't need any 3D printing. You can use your ordinary printers. You can develop your sensors. Okay, you can have either screen printing or you can take your ordinary printers, and you can take the recent printers, the recent ink tank based printers. You just take this, how to do this printing, how to do this printing sensors. You can take your ink printers, ink tank based printers. Now you can buy these ink tank printers. I think ink tanks are there. You remove this ink tank, you just add some material in the tank, then you keep it in the printer. Now you make your own design. Of course, we are able to do something with inks. All materials are also available in the inks. For example, I have done with the leukemia identification from silver nano inks. Silver nano ink, and you can get the silver nano ink. Of course, it's a very low cost, and don't think that silver means very high. It's a silver nano ink, and I have a lot of inks like this, carbon nano ink. Carbon nano ink. It's all not sold in other countries. In our country itself, you can get it, And you can see this for printed electronics. This is for printed electronics. Of course, these inks are available in India. Ink India. Because I bought it from Ahmedabad, I'm supposed to believe. And you can see this ink. If you go to India Mart, you can get a lot of inks. You can see a lot of inks, carbon nano inks. Okay. And the very beauty of this is that, okay, you get carbon ink and you have your lot of nano inks. You can put it here, nano inks, you'll get it lot of nano inks. Sometimes what I felt in my experience is that if you are more enough to present yourself before the company, they send a lot of free samples. You can see this lot of nano inks. These are digital printing inks and lot of inks are available. So you can take your inks, different inks. For example, I'll just go for or you can take conductive paints. One more idea is that you can make conductive paints. But all you don't have inductive paints, you can go for conductive paints. Silver conductive paints, graphene conductive paints. You can get this conductive paint, just insert it. You can just insert it in your, what I can say, you just put 2-3 drops in your ink printer. You don't remove this regular printer, you just make a drop of it. And you can develop your own sensor of your own design. If you put different designs, each design will have its own changes in the sensor value and acquisition. It's a very beautiful technology. You never want to go for any IC. If at all you want to have a problem of getting your IC or importing or something like that, you can take these inks and you can develop your own inks and you can have multi-layer. Multi-layer printing can also be done. If I have one layer, the fabrication. The fabrication is that I can make this material into the ink, then I can make a lot of layers, layer by layer. I can do the layer wise printing also, layer printings. This is what the layer printing, normally you do it in t-shirts. If you go to a pot or something like that, the layer printings are then, layer wise layer printing is there. Similar way, you can have your layer printing sensors. Because we are aware about this with the wearable sensors, but still in 3D layer by layer printing is there. You can see this here. Now you can see this in 2017 they have used paper inject printer capacity humidity sensors, and you can see this very beautiful product by using your normal design. You try to put it in your design either in console or something like that. You analyze the structure, then you can apply this and you can take this. A very beautiful sensor, active layer inkjet printer capacity humidity sensors. I'll just put it in the link so that you can able to get it. But a very important thing for the professors is that you have to have patience to do this research. Listening this, okay, so far the flexible electronics, this is a very beautiful issue called flexible electronics. This is a very beautiful sensor. Of course, this comes under the flexible electronics. In IIC Bangalore, they have it, but it is very cheap to do it. You can see this printed electronics nano lab. I see. Okay, they have made a very separate nanomaterial. People are trying to mechanical. People are trying to go ahead with this. You can see this lot of sensors are developed. Okay, and you can see a lot of products are there, publications. You can see this continuously. Lot of publications are coming out. You can just see this. You can do when you see 4 or 5 papers by using your when you see this, you can see this. You can develop your own transistors, something like that. You can have your nano transistors, everything done with your nano sensors. Printing. I'll just send this also because we are thinking about the higher cost version of the product. And if you want to publish, you need some more cost. It's not like that. If you have your problem, a solid problem, the solution is very easy to get it. That is what I mean here. You can see these papers. You can see these papers. I'll just show you. Where is it? IIT. You can see this. You can see this. 2021 ultra high response ethanol sensor from fully printed co-continuous metaphorous tin oxide thin films. You can see this SNO2 metaphorous SNO2 based ultra sensitive gas sensor for trace amount of NO2 detection. So this is how you can see this lot of papers are coming out. You can see this only by printing technology. Only by printing technology. None other than the printing technology they do this. Okay, and you can see this sensors are being developed. Of course, the sensors are being developed, but application part is left out. Now you can take this paper, you develop your own sensor, you can go for application. Now this is a very easiest way to make your paper to be published in a different way, And you know that photonic is a very big thing, but of course the photonics are being done by using this printing technology. You can see this recent years, last 15 years, last 5 years, 16, now 4, 20 and 21. Last 5 years, you can see how the development was there in the printing technology. Now you have one more institute. You can see this. You can get this. Of course, you can see all area. By using just a printer and a chemical, you can develop a lot of transistors and fabrication. Because we teach fabrication for the students in LIC. We say that referring all things are done. No, it's not like that. Now things are changed. And only thing is that we want to identify the material, we want to simulate with the console or something, and then you have to do it. So that is what the reason, people have to take the either people has to understand the simulation through what I can say your MATLAB by knowing the equations, or in turn you can develop this by using your console. Then you can do your what I can say your application. Or otherwise, if you don't know anything about these tools, it takes time. You just go to flexible and printing technology papers. They develop sensors, but they never chase it for different application. And now I think no simulation is required. Already sensors are developed. You are taking the sensor and you are developing for a non-enhanced way. And this is how, because I have taught something about the blood-related biology and all those things, because our topic relates with the medical sciences. Our FTP talks about medical sciences. That way, if you want to know this, you should be very aware about what is the problem. That I have given a very good link with the blood, starting from blood, how the blood is related to the oxygen, temperature, and then your magnetic property. And then I have shown something about FDDA classifications of the objects. Then I have shown something about the publications, now how to do your research work. Because it's a very smart way, because we cannot go for any what I can say groundbreaking research You have to go with the breakthrough research, and so far what I've done is the breakthrough research areas, so that you can start immediately without any sort of what I can say hurdles, because you never want to depend on sensors, no need of data, no need of what I can say other things. You have to think in the other way. Of course, when you talk about this, I think before 2016 itself, we were able to design some conductive paints, and we identified DIY conductive paints. Of course, conductive paints, you get it for 2,000 rupees. You can use these conductive paints in Amazon also. You can see this is the conductive inks, which is sold in Amazon. Just pen-like structure. This is an electric paint. It's a bare paint. Of course, you can do this by yourself. You can see this. And of course, it will be like a paste-like structure. Of course, you can do this. You can have your conductive paint. Okay, and making a conductive paint is not a very big thing. And I can give the information. Conductive paint. You just take coal. Okay. You make this coal into powder, and you mix the gum. That's it. And that becomes the carbon conductive paint. And you can have the paint, you can have your room decorated with this paint, you can have your small DC voltage supplying to your entire room. No cable is required. It's a very beautiful thing, and of course we can do a lot of circuits and sensors by this conductive paint. I think it's time up. It's 11:45. I think I can stop here.
Thank you,
participants, if you have any doubt.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask to the speaker.
What, Mr. Ganesh? I think you are very much interested and you are posting some messages. Ganesh, are you there? No doubt. No doubt, Ganesh. You are from which college? No doubt. Yes, Ganesh, you are from which college? Where it is? Kanpur. Which state? Maharashtra. Very good. And hello, thank you. Wonderful session once again. Who is that? Due to noise, I cannot talk, sir. Okay, no problem. Hello, sir. Thank you for your indulgence again. And we don't have so much knowledge about the biological function and biomedical since we are from electrical background, electronics background. Sir, so how can we proceed in this situation? Can you please guide, like how to choose better various medical images like tumor cells? You can approach your cell center. I think Sandhya, you are from which college? Sandhya, you are from which area? MMIT. How do I know MMIT? I have a lot of MMIT in Chennai itself. Which state? Which college? Okay, Allahabad. Okay. Now, if you want to talk about imaging sciences, you don't go for this one. You can go for National Cell Science Institute. I'll just share you. They are very much welcoming you to do some researches. You can take your what I can say. You can have your internship, 1 month internship. There they provide internship, because recently we are doing with some molecular imaging. National Cell Science Center for Cell Sciences. If you go here, you can get a lot of cells. They give it for even 2000. They are sending. It's an autonomous body. You can see this. Lot of events are there. Okay, and they do a lot of research. They help like anything. You can get a lot of images from them also. Okay, and you can see this here. You can see here biological cancer and chronic diseases, diabetes. They have these cells. They'll give you the cells, and they'll even suggest you to go ahead with the. You can go ahead with what I can say. Internship. You can have the internship here. Cell science internships are available. You can better go there. You can see internship. It's a very beautiful startup for you if you are not aware about these things. And of course, I think from the chat, I was able to know that I am from electrical background. Don't show your weakness. Don't show your weakness. I am from electronic background. I am from you know English. You know how to read. You know how to understand things. That's enough. That's enough. It's not like that I am from different department. A researcher cannot say that I belong to this department. If you say that, you are not a researcher. You are not eligible to do the research. A researcher can look anything in a different way and get the solution as the researcher. Do you think that 40 years before there was a computer science engineer, electrical people are doing it? Before 100 years, do you think there was an electrical engineer, civil engineers are doing something about electrical engineers? So no, it's not like that. It's not like that. That is what in India they are trying to make NEPC, because multidisciplinary aspects are required. And it's not like that I don't know biology, I know biology. Just like that, go meet a doctor, you read it, a particular area, and you can develop it. Even a doctor, if you go and ask some irrelevant questions, if you talk about biomagnetism, they won't accept. They may not be knowing it. Very few will go and search because their boundaries are limited. See, researchers' boundaries are not limited. It is enormous. You have to learn, that's it. If you have doubt, you ask the experts in that area. They'll let you know. Because how do I know all those things? I am myself, I'm also from electronics department. How do I know this? I take the contacts of the material science engineer from mechanical. I discuss with them. I do it. And even I do with, what I can say, fluid dynamics, coupled stress fluid dynamics. And of course, it's a biology where when I inject some material, already the blood is flowing. Now, if I inject, how far the reactions will be there based upon the force. If I drink my water, swallowing the water very high, automatically the water comes out. The same way when I inject any injection, outer environment temperature, how the chemical reacts. It's called coupled stress fluid analysis. Of course, it comes under computational fluid dynamics, but still we are working in biology. It's not like that you want to confine with one area. First, you get rid of this thinking. Anything you have to learn and you have to do it. Even of people who do many things in blood, if you go and ask some question of in-depth of area by knowing something, by doing some experiment, not like by reading the Google and don't ask those people. You do some real tasks, you understand, you just ask them, they'll explain. So try to remove this myth. When I see some papers, very good papers, especially in Nature Journal, I see multidisciplinary people are doing very better than the people are doing in the core area. Multidisciplinary is an area where you can get a lot of ideas, you can make a lot of innovations, make good number of papers. Okay. How do you think that material science people are working with electronics? They develop the sensor. What they know about the sensors? Nothing. They know only about the material. They can talk about the bond, but still how they do how they develop the sensors. And that is what we have to do. That should be removed. If at all you want to have a separate lecture on this, you can contact me. We'll teach you how to get rid of this. It's a very big area. Now, can you give you some guidelines and EEG signal processing? And of course, I have worked with EEG signals, but still now people are working only with the electrodes. Why not ECG can be done with NIR sensors? See, once I tried with NIR sensor, and it is called, I want to take that optical sensor, NIR sensor for EEG measurements. It's called App Technologies, UK. UK. And this is a very beautiful, one second, app technologies.uk, co.uk. There they have their NAR LEDs. I'll just make it, Google it, then it will get it. I'm not just taking a class, I'm just sharing my experience. This is a very beautiful optoelectronics devices. You can get it. You can see here a lot of sensors are available. You can go here, photodiodes, and you can have your LEDs product. You can see this ultraviolet LEDs are different wavelength. You can see this. You can have your medical proved one, and I think you can see here photodiodes with bicell quadrant operation. These are all optical devices as a product. You can take this product and you can work for EEG. You can work for the EEG. Okay. Why not you want to go ahead with the same sensors, electrodes? Electrodes will have some artifacts, because when a person is trying to shake his head or you have a what I can say sweating, automatically the readings will be changed, and your room temperature will have the influence on the sensor, but then you never analyze it, and that is how we can able to differentiate it. Okay. Any other doubts? Anyway, thank you for asking doubts. Yes, got it. Thank you for sharing your website. Any other doubts? As I said yesterday, if you want to have any doubts, you can attend my seminars. Continuously, I am making these seminars. Of course, I think last day seminar will be a very beautiful seminar. EEG sensors. Ganesh, try to attend that seminar because you have yoga and meditation. We are going to prove this yoga and meditation with biomedical instruments. We are going to see some discussions about yoga and meditation, how your yoga is going to change your EEG signals. Okay. I think any other doubt? Thank you for asking questions. Any feedbacks from the participants?